Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihlah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, alhamdulillah, kita bersyukur pada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Pada hari ini kita dapat kembali ke kelas kita untuk minggu yang kedua dan kelas yang kedua. Okay. So insyaAllah what we are going to do today is we are going to continue what we have stopped in the previous class 2 days ago. So, I will share with you the Excel file. Okay, before that, do you have any question to ask? Anything to ask? No? Okay. So, I would like to show to you again, one more time, about the calculation of goodwill, because goodwill is a very important item that we have to understand. Okay. So, the first thing that we have to do for every question is to calculate the goodwill. So, here, when we want to calculate the goodwill, we are actually comparing the consideration transferred and the fair value of net asset of the subsidiary. So from the equation, the consideration transferred comprised of two items. The first item is cash paid, 180,000, and the second item is ordinary share capital issued, 200,000. So this one, when we add the two together, 180 plus 200 is equal to 380,000. Okay. And then that is step one, That is step one. I put here step one. And then step two. Step two is to calculate the fair value of net asset. Step two is to calculate the fair value of net asset. I put there S2, step two. So what are the fair value of net asset available on the date of acquisition? It comprises of number one, ordinary share of subsidiary, 250,000. Retained earning on that date is 100,000. And asset revaluation reserve is 80,000. So when we add together, it is 430,000. That is step two. Okay. Step three. Step three is to calculate the non-controlling interest. Since the non-controlling interest is 25% of the fair value of net asset, then we can use the figure here, 430,000. The 430,000 here, we multiply by 25%. So we may put here in bracket, 430,000 multiply by 25%. So what do we get from here? It is 120,000. 120,000. Betul 430 times 25%?
Sir.
Ya.
Saya dapat 107,500. Saya dapat satu.
Oh, okey. Oh, ni saya silap tunjuk tempat ni. Sekejap. Oh, ni ada dua goodwill ni. Sekejap. Sorry. Sebaik you sebut. Okey. Sebenarnya yang atas. Betul lah calculation you tu. Okey. This one. Saya pun dah tulis hari tu kan. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okey. Thank you very much. Okey. Saya dah tunjuk benda lain. Sepatutnya inilah saya tunjuk. Okey. Okey. Kembali cash paid 180,000 plus share capital issued 280,000. Okey. Kemudian totalnya 380,000. Then kita cari kita punya fair value of net asset 250,000 plus 100,000 plus 80,000 equal to 430,000 times 25% equal to 107,500. Yes, you are right. Okay, you are right. So, step 1 is to show the consideration transferred. Step 2 is to show the fair value of net asset. And step 3 is to calculate the non-controlling interest. This is under the partial goodwill. Okay, under the partial goodwill. So now, when we total the consideration transferred plus non-controlling interest, the total value is 487,500. And 487,500, this one is known as fair value of investment. Yeah, fair value of investment. So, now we are comparing fair value of investment 487,500 and fair value of net asset 430,000. Result in a goodwill of 57,500. Okay, and out of 57,500, 20% impaired in 2014 and 40% impaired in 2015. So we put here 20% 11,500 and 40% is 23,000. So the balance of goodwill after the two impairments, okay, is 23,000. Okay, and that day we also show that all the goodwill under the partial goodwill belong to the parent. Okay, it is under the parent column. Okay, nanti bila kita masuk kepada yang full goodwill tu, barulah kita cerita yang tu. Okay, I'm sure that everybody is clear about that. Okay, so what is the next step? The next step is to analyze the financial statement balance brought down. Okay, this one is known as schedule. Yeah, schedule for analysis of financial statement balance brought down. So we are going to analyze the balance brought down of the financial statement of the parent and subsidiary. What is the purpose? The purpose is to find the opening balance of retained profit and also the reserves and also the non-controlling interest. We want to find the opening balance. We need to prepare analysis of financial statement brought down. Okay, since I said just now, we want to find the balance, yeah, the balance of retained earning, the balance of other reserve, and the balance of NCI brought down. So we need to put here 2 or 3 columns depending on the question. If the question has no other reserve, then we have to put 2 columns only, group retained earning and non-controlling interest. Since in this question, in addition to retained earning, we have also other reserve, that is asset revaluation reserve. Okay, so we put here 3 columns. Okay, so what is the purpose just now? The purpose is to find the opening balance of the retained earning, group retained earning, group reserve, and also non-controlling interest. Alright, so we should start with the value of non-controlling interest that we have calculated. Yeah, that we have calculated when we want to try when we want to find the goodwill just now. Yeah, we want to find the goodwill just now. We need to calculate the NCI. So NCI is 107,500. Then we put here the first item as NCI on the date of acquisition 107,500. We put here in the NCI column. And then the second one, okay, the second one. We go to the retained earning of S. Yeah, retained earning of S. So the retained earning of S on the date of the retained earning of S brought down. Yeah, retained earning of S brought down. So actually we can find this 140,000. Yeah, 140,000 from the question. Yeah? 140,000 is given in the question here. Can you see 140,000 here? Retained earning brought down. So we put there retained earning brought down 140,000. Right. And then we have to deduct the retained earning on the date of acquisition. Yeah, retained earning on the date of acquisition 100,000. Therefore, yeah, the retained earning brought down, yeah, retained earning brought down from the date of acquisition. Retained earning brought down from the date of acquisition is only 40,000. The retained earning that exists on the date of acquisition already used to calculate the goodwill. So, okay, we cannot include that. That's why we minus here. Retained earning brought down is actually retained earning brought down after the acquisition date. So on acquisition date, we have 100,000. After acquisition date, we only have 40,000 retained earning brought down. Okay, this retained earning brought down 40,000 is allocated or attributed to two parties. The first party is the parent that holds 75%. So 40,000 times 75% goes to group retained earning, and 25% goes to non-controlling interest. Okay, this is based on the percentage that we have been given the percentage at the beginning of the question. Okay, 75% and 25%. Here, 75% for the holding and 25% for the non-controlling interest. Next, S also has asset revaluation reserve on 1st January 2015, yeah, amounting to 80,000. However, on the date of acquisition, the amount is also the same, 80,000. So there is no additional asset revaluation reserve. It means starting from the date of acquisition until 1st January 2015, there is no additional asset revaluation reserve. So whatever value ataupun whatever percentage that we have for the parent and the NCI, if the value is 0, then when we multiply, it becomes 0. So kosong kali dengan 75% adalah kosong. Kosong kali dengan 25% adalah kosong. If we have value here, then we should have value here under the group asset revaluation reserve and also non-controlling interest. Okay, and another one, don't forget that on the date of acquisition, the parent only acquires 60% of the preference share. So the balance of 40% of the preference share belong to non-controlling interest. Okay, so 150,000 times 40% equal to 60,000. Okay, second last is retained earning of H. So on 1st January 2015, okay, H is having 240,000, yeah, 240,000 retained earning. This is shown in the statement of financial position. Okay, 240,000, and then okay, we need to deduct the goodwill impairment. Yeah, goodwill impairment for 2014, because this one is 1st January 15. So we need to include the goodwill impaired in 2014. So the amount is 11,500. 240,000 minus 11,500 equal to 228,500. Okay, so this one, yeah, retained earning of H, we don't have to allocate to non-controlling interest. Yeah, nothing to do with non-controlling interest. The profit of the subsidiary, yes, something to do with non-controlling interest. But the profit of the parent, nothing to do with non-controlling interest. Right? And then lastly, yeah, the parent is having ARR on 1st January 2015 amounting to 10,000. So how do we know that we have 10,000 here on 1st January 2015? Okay. From the question on 31st December 2015, we have asset revaluation reserve of 30,000. Okay, this one I put here asset revaluation reserve, yeah. 30,000. 30,000 is on 31st December 2015. But now we want to record what is the value on 1st January 2015. So we have to look at the statement of profit or loss. Under the comprehensive income, we have additional 20,000 during the year. So if at the end of the year we have 30,000 and during the year we have 20,000, it means the opening balance is 10,000. So we put 10,000 there. We put 10,000 here. Asset revaluation reserve on 1st January 2015 is 10,000. So now we can total the amount of group retained earning, the amount of group asset revaluation reserve, and the amount of non-controlling interest. Okay. Remember that when we calculate this one, the purpose of calculating, the purpose of analyzing the balance of ARR, the balance of group retained earning, and the balance of NCI is so that we can prepare our statement of changes in equity. Okay? Any question? We go to the next one, analysis of financial statement carried down. Analysis of financial statement carried down. So why we have to analyze the balance carried down? Okay, the purpose is almost the same. And the purpose is almost the same. If just now, when we analyze the opening balance, the purpose is to find the opening balance of statement of changes in equity. And here, when we analyze the closing balance or balance carried down, we are actually finding the balance carried down of the three items. Okay, so we have three columns also here. And then we record, first, we record the non-controlling interest, 107,500. And also, non-controlling interest for preference share, 60,000. So these two has no changes. Opening balance ni tak ada changes kat sini. Dua-dua ni samalah dengan yang atas tadi. Okay. Second item is financial statement of S. So financial statement of S, this one is known as post-acquisition, post-acquisition retained profit. So the retained profit as at 31st December 2015 of S is 180,500. Can you get this 180,500? Yes. From the question, we can get the amount. When we combine the retained profit brought down, 140,000, and profit after tax for the year, 40,500. So altogether is 180,500. 180,500. Okay. Again, we have to minus the retained profit or retained earning on the date of acquisition, 100,000. And the reason is still the same. Okay, sama dengan yang di atas. We have to minus because we want to know what is the retained profit carried down from the date of acquisition. From the date of acquisition, that is 1st January 2014. Therefore, we have to minus 100,000. Okay. Next. Next is what adjustment that we are going to make in the books of the subsidiary. During the year, two things happen to the retained profit of the subsidiary or to the statement of profit or loss of the subsidiary. The first one is there is a loss on sale of machine. A loss of sale of machine. Kan kita tengok dekat sini tadi. Kat kita punya ini ni. On 10 October 2014, S sold a machinery to Ash at a loss of 1,500. The machinery have remaining useful life of 5 years. Jadi itulah yang berlaku. So apa yang kita kena buat? Since the sale of the machine is made to the parent. The sale is made to the parent. Jadi dia menjual mesin dia dengan kerugian dan mesin tadi dijual kepada parent. Jadi dia rugi kepada parent. For the purpose of the group, since the parent and the subsidiary is they are members of the group, okay, you cannot make profit or make loss, okay, within the group. Maknanya kalau nak jual saja, tapi tak ada keuntungan, tak ada kerugian. Jadi bila you ada kerugian kat sini, maka kerugian tadi you dah masuk, you have included this loss in your statement of profit or loss. But for group purpose, you cannot recognize this loss. That's why you have to add back the loss. Yeah, you have to add back the loss. So here we put back the unrealized loss on machine 1,500. 1,500. Okay. And what is this one? What is this one? Depreciation on machine. This depreciation on machine is actually related to the unrealized loss of machine. Okay, I tell you the story. Okay, when you sell the machine at loss, it means the value of the machine is reduced by 1,500. Yeah, the value of the machine is reduced by 1,500. Okay, the value of the machine reduced by 1,500. So when the value of machine is reduced by 1,500, what happened to the depreciation? The depreciation will be under calculated. Yeah, depreciation will be under calculated. The depreciation should be more than that. Maknanya kita kena consider ni, when there is a loss, the value of the machine go down and the value of depreciation also go down. So what is the rectification that we can make? We have to state back the under depreciate. The under depreciation. Depreciation yang terkurang tadi, kita kena letak balik. So macam mana nak dapat 300,000? Sorry, 300 ni. 300 is actually based on 1,500 divided by its useful life 5 years. So loss tadi menyebabkan depreciation terkurang. So depreciation terkurang tadi nilai dia adalah 1,500 divided by 5 equal to 300. Okay. So panjang sikit cerita di kat situ so that you understand. Jadi okay, the post acquisition profit of the subsidiary is 81,700. Yeah, 81,700. So 81,700 will be allocated to group retained earning and also the non-controlling interest. Yeah, group retained earning dia akan dapat 75%, dan controlling interest dia dapat 25%. Okay class, is that okay for you?
Okay, sir.
Okay, good. Next, we go to asset revaluation reserve of ex post. Okay, from the statement of financial position, we know that the asset revaluation reserve of subsidiary balance at 31st December 2015 is 90,000, whereas on the date of acquisition is 80,000. So we can see the difference of 10,000. Yeah, difference of 10,000 just now is regarded as post-acquisition asset revaluation reserve. So post-acquisition asset revaluation reserve here will be allocated to the group and to the non-controlling interest. 75% for the group put under GARR column and 2,500 put under non-controlling interest column. Okay, and then the preference share just now, okay, it's the same as the brought down, analysis of brought down. And then financial statement of H. Financial statement of H. Okay, from the question, can you find the retained earning as at 31st December 2015 as 339,750? Can you get 339,750? Can you? You add the brought down and current year. Yeah, brought down plus current year is equal to retained profit as at 31st December 2015. So, let's look at this one. Yeah, retained profit brought down of the parent 240 plus 99,750. Okay, class. 339,750. And we have to minus the goodwill impact for 2 years because this is carried down. Yeah, carried down is covering everything starting from date of acquisition. Cover everything start from date of acquisition means starting from 1st January 2014. So in 2014, goodwill impact by 11,500. In 2015, goodwill impact by 23,000. Okay. And there is one more item that need to be adjusted in the retained profit of the parent, whereby the parent has made a sale. The parent has made a sale of 90,000 to S, to subsidiary, making a profit of 20% on markup. 20% on markup. Okay, jadi yang profit tadi, making a profit of 20% on markup tadi, itulah yang kita akan catat dalam kita punya retained profit of parent tadi. So how much is actually the unrealized profit? The profit that cannot be recognized. You sell amounting to 90,000. 90,000 times 20 over 120. The answer is 15,000, right? 15,000. So the original profit is 15,000. However, at the end of the year, half of the inventory unsold. Yeah, half of the inventory unsold. So the unrealized profit is only related to the unsold goods. Unsold goods. Maknanya out of 90,000 tadi, 45,000 not yet sold. So the profit that need to be deducted, that is known as unrealized profit, is 45,000 times 20 over 120. Okay, so the answer is 7,500. 500. So we have to minus 7,500 here as one of the adjustment to the retained profit of Edge. So after we minus 11,500, 23,000 and 7,500, okay, the balance of retained profit of Edge at the end of the year is 297,750. And last but not least is asset revaluation reserve of Edge of the parent on 31st December 2015 is 30,000. So now we can calculate the total. Okay, calculate the total of group retained earning, group asset revaluation reserve, and also non-controlling interest. So the value of group retained earning is 359,025. Okay. Group asset revaluation reserve is 37,500, and the non-controlling interest is 190,425. Okay, class. Next, we are going to prepare the statement of financial position. We are going to prepare the statement of financial position. Okay, so we have learned the steps that we have step 1, we have step 2 in preparing consolidated financial statement. Okay, so what is step 1 here? Okay, so in preparing statement of financial position, in preparing the statement of financial position, we have to know what are the list of items in the statement of financial position. And the items is actually the same as the item in the question. So what are the items? The first item is property, plant, and equipment. So in the consolidated statement of financial position, we are going to combine the property, plant, equipment of the parent and of the subsidiary. Okay, the parent's property, plant, equipment is 295,750, and the subsidiary is 660,500. We add together. So we add together. So basically, when you add the two, you already get the mark. Okay, walaupun tak penuh lah markah tadi. Itu dapat penuh, kita kena campur balik 1,500 dan tolak 300. Why we have to add back the 1,500? Because this is actually unrealized loss. Okay, the group cannot recognize loss within the group. Kan? Maknanya subsidiary tadi jual kepada parent and subsidiary are members of the group. So you cannot make profit within members of the group, you cannot make loss within members of the group. Itu dia punya principle dia. So when you make loss, you need to add back. You need to add back, and at the same time, okay, you need to adjust the depreciation. So depreciation under provided by 300 just now, we have to minus. Jadi kita add back the loss dan kita minus the under provided depreciation. So Our property plant equipment is 957,450. And then what about investment in ordinary share, investment in preference share, and investment in debenture? These three will be eliminated. These three will be eliminated. Ini kita panggil step 2. Elimination of investment in subsidiary. So how are we going to eliminate investment in subsidiary? Okay, we have to debit and credit like this. Okay, for investment in ordinary share, panjang sikit. Okay, so what we are doing, we debit ARR of subsidiary 80. We debit retained earning of subsidiary 100. We debit ordinary share of subsidiary 250. And we debit the original goodwill 57.5. We credit the original non-controlling interest 107.5. And we credit investment in S 380. That's why 380 is no more here. Tak ada lagi kat sini sebab kita dah eliminate. Ya. Yang penting nampak kat sini, kita credit investment. So investment is no more. The same goes to investment in preference share. We debit the preference share of S 150. We credit investment in S 90. And we credit non-controlling interest 60. And lastly, investment in debenture, debit debenture 48, credit investment in debenture of S 48. So maknanya kita dah tak ada dah baki kat sini. So in consolidated statement of financial position, there is no figure for investment. There is no figure for investment because investment has already been eliminated for the purpose of consolidation. Okay, and then we can see from here the balance of goodwill on consolidation is 23,000 after minus 11,500 and 23,000. Next, we go to current asset. Current asset comprised of inventory. Inventory just now we add together inventory of the parent and subsidiary. So 100 plus 70 minus. We have to minus here the unrealized profit on inventory 7,500. Why we have to minus 7,500? We minus because the inventory has been overstated. Yeah, the inventory of the subsidiary has been overstated by 7,500. Included in the inventory of subsidiary is a profit charged by the parent 7,500. So we need to deduct here. Next is trade receivable. Trade receivable, we combine the trade receivable of the parent and subsidiary 150 plus 130, and we have to minus 100. 100 just now is the amount that the subsidiary has not paid from the sale kan. From the sale. Dia belum sempat bayar lagi sebanyak 100,000. Jadi jualan yang dibuat oleh parent kepada subsidiary ni bukan sekali 90,000 tu saja. Maknanya every month dia ada buat jualan kan. Every month dia ada buat jualan. Tapi dia tak sebut lah. Cuma yang dia sebut adalah sebanyak 90,000. Okay. And then dividend receivable. Dividend receivable is an asset for the parent. But this dividend receivable is basically coming from subsidiary. Kan? You invest in ordinary share, then you receive dividend from subsidiary. So we need to eliminate the dividend receivable and dividend payable. Ya, dividend receivable kita eliminate, kita tolak dengan 25,950. Ya, kemudian kita punya dividend payable pun kita tolak juga dengan 25,950 di sini. Sebab dia adalah intercompany. Intercompany balance that need to be eliminated. So ini adalah step 3, elimination of dividend receivable, dividend payable. The same goes to interest receivable and interest payable. We eliminate the interest receivable from subsidiary 2,400 and we eliminate dividend payable by the interest payable by the subsidiary 6,000 minus 2,400. Whereas for cash and bank, we just combine the value of cash and bank of the parent and subsidiary. Next is equity and liabilities. Start with ordinary share. Ordinary share, we show the ordinary share of parent only. Why only parent? Because the subsidiary ordinary share has been eliminated for the purpose of consolidation. You can see from here just now, we debit ordinary share of subsidiary. 250. Right? So, bila kita debit, mana kita tolak lah. And then the preference share also the same. Preference share of the parent plus subsidiary minus subsidiary. Sama ni kat sini. Debit, preference share of subsidiary. And then retained earning, other component of equity and non-controlling interest. We get this figure from analysis carried down. Okay, we don't have to calculate again. We just take the figure from analysis of financial statement carried down. This one. Bukan itu yang bawah ni. Yang carried down punya. Carried down ni. So we take this figure. The figure for group retained earning 359,025, ARR 37,500, and NCI is 190,425. Then we have 10% debentures. 10% debentures of subsidiary. Initially it is 120. And then we minus 48. Why we minus 48? Because 48,000 of the debenture is belong to the parent. So debit debenture 48 and credit investment 48. Jadi itu sebabnya kita punya debenture kurang sebanyak 48. Okay. Now trade payable. If just now when we discuss about trade receivable, we minus 100. Here also we minus 100. Because 100 is relating to trade receivable and trade payable. Yeah, trade receivable of dividend payable and interest payable just now we have discussed. Tax payable is combination of tax payable of the parent and subsidiary. Okay, class, do you have any question? Okay, so nanti you boleh tengok balik. Ya, saya dah bagi salinan ni pada awak. You boleh baca balik nanti. Okay, now we go to statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31st December 2015. Okay, so what do we have here? The first item is revenue. The first item is revenue. Revenue is combination of revenue of the parent and revenue of the subsidiary. 500 plus 300. And we have to minus 90 because 90 is intercompany sale. Intercompany sale need to be eliminated. And then for the cost of sale, 250 of the parent, 110 of the subsidiary, minus 90 also intercompany purchase. In revenue, parent sold goods to subsidiary. In cost of sale, the subsidiary purchase good from the parent, the same. But there is an additional item in cost of sale. Okay, we need to add back the unrealized profit 7,500 just now. We have to add back in the closing stock. Yeah. So in the closing stock, we need to minus the closing stock by 7,500. So for the cost of sale, it is an additional 7,500. Okay. Jadi saya tunjuk kat sini lah ya, opening kita punya cost of sale ni sebenarnya comprise of opening inventory dan juga purchases dan juga closing inventory. Okay. Jadi closing inventory kita overstated. Ya, closing inventory kita overstated. So bila overstated tu maknanya cost of sale tu terkurang. Jadi untuk membetulkan keadaan, kita tolaklah kita punya closing inventory tadi dengan unrealized profit tadi 7,500 menjadikan cost of sale kita naik semula. Ya, cost of sale kita naik semula sebanyak 7,500. Okay, gross profit. And then okay, next is loss on disposal of property plant equipment. Ada item dia 1,500 dalam subsidiary. For the group purpose, we cannot recognize this loss on disposal because the loss on disposal is within the group members. Jadi apa-apa yang within the group members we cannot recognize. So kita tolak kat sini. Eliminate. And then dividend income of the parent 25,950 also we cannot recognize in the group because this amount is coming from the subsidiary. So eliminate juga. Okay, sama dengan interest income 4,800 is coming from the subsidiary. Eliminate also. And other income also coming from subsidiary. Eliminate also. Ya, other income ni datangnya daripada management service. As paid management fee to Ash amounted to 2,000. Included in administrative cost. Included in administrative cost. Jadi dia kena tolak lah kat situ. Okay, so kita eliminate dia punya other income. Okay, okay, next. Kita pergi pada expenses pula. Sebelum tu kita ada impairment of goodwill 23,000 for the year. Okay, and then we have distribution cost, no adjustment. And then we have administrative cost. There are two adjustment in administrative cost. The first one is adjustment for management fee just now. Management fee, yeah. So we need to add back. We need to add back the management fee just now. How to add back? Adding back the 2,000 is by way of deducting. Deducting 2,000 from admin cost. Jadi admin cost ni kita kurangkan sebanyak 2. Other income kita kurangkan sebanyak 2. Jadi balance balik lah. Ya. Ada income kita tolak 2. Admin expenses kita tolak dengan 2. Then another one is admin cost tu. Kita campur dengan 0.3 itu adalah 300 tadilah. Depreciation terkurang sebanyak 300. Okay. And then finance cost 12,000 finance cost of the subsidiary minus 4.8. 4.8 ataupun 4,800. This is related to interest income. This one is interest expense. Eliminate dengan interest income. Interest expense of the subsidiary. Interest income of the parent. Kita eliminate dua-dua tu. Okay, kita eliminate dua-dua tu. Next. Okay, next is okay, kita sampai kepada profit before tax, kemudian taxation, kemudian kita dapat profit for the year ataupun profit after tax 170,000. Okay, so and then kita ada other comprehensive income. Other comprehensive income ni kita dapat fair value gain daripada ARR ni sebanyak 30,000. So menjadikan dia total comprehensive income sebanyak 200,000. Okay. Jadinya kita punya profit after tax ataupun profit for the year 120,000. Total comprehensive income is 200,000. Now we want to know how much out of this profit is belong to the non-controlling interest. How much is attributable to non-controlling interest out of profit after tax and out of total comprehensive income. So the calculation is as follows. Okay, kita tengok yang kanan dulu, yang ni. Okay. 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 So, to calculate the non-controlling interest portion of profit of subsidiary, we need to take the profit after tax of subsidiary from the question. Profit after tax of subsidiary from the question is 77,500. Okay, 77,500. And then, yeah, we add back the unrealized loss just now. Yeah, we add back the unrealized loss, 1,500, and we deduct the depreciation, 300. We deduct the depreciation, 300, and then we minus the preference dividend. We minus the preference dividend, 12,000. Okay. And the balance of profit available for ordinary shareholders. Available for ordinary shareholders is 66,700. Out of 66,700, 25% belong to non-controlling interest. So the amount is 16,675. And don't forget just now, the preference dividend paid amounting to 12,000, 40% belong to non-controlling interest. So 40% times the preference dividend, 12,000 equal to 4,800. So altogether, the profit after tax attributable to non-controlling interest is 21,475. And this amount will be brought to this statement. The amount will be brought to this statement. Kat sini kan. So 170,000 profit after tax, 21,475 attributable to non-controlling interest, and the balance is attributable to the parent. What about the total comprehensive income? Total comprehensive income of the subsidiary is 10,000. Yeah, ARR of subsidiary is 10,000. So 25% of 10,000 is 2,500. Therefore, the total comprehensive income attributable to the non-controlling interest is added by 2,500, result in a value of 23,975. Here, 200,000 total comprehensive income, 23,975 belong to non-controlling interest, and the balance belong to the parent. Okay. And lastly, let us discuss about the statement of changes in equity. So saya kena habiskan jugalah, tinggal sikit ni je. Okay, bila kita habis ni maka selesailah. Untuk next class kita akan tengok full goodwill. Okay, so the statement of changes in equity, we have 3 columns also. The first column is group retained earning, second column is group ARR, and third column is non-controlling interest. Okay, and the statement of changes in equity will start with balance brought down and ends with balance carried down. So remember just now when we analyze the balances of reserve and NCI of the parent and the subsidiary, okay, we find that the balance brought down from the analysis, yeah, the balance brought down of GRE is 258,500, GARR is 10,000, and NCI is 177,500. And then for the group retained earning, it will be added with profit after tax for the year 148,525 just now that we have calculated sebelah tadi. Ini dia. 148,525. Ya, 148,525 kat sini. And then at the end of the year, the parent declare dividend 48,000. So at the end of the year, the value of the retained earning is 359,025, sama dengan analysis of financial statement carried down. Okay. What about the group asset revaluation reserve? Opening balance is 10,000, and then during the year we have 20,000 from the parent and 7,500 of the subsidiary. So total year at the end of the year is 37,500. And lastly, for NCI, opening balance is 177,500. The profit after tax during the year we have just calculated just now, 21,475. And then revaluation reserve is 2,500. And lastly is dividend proposed by the subsidiary, 11,050. How do we get this 11,050? Basically, the subsidiary declare 25,000 ordinary dividend and 12,000 preference dividend. out of 25,000 ordinary dividend, 25% belong to NCI, and out of 12,000 preferred dividend, 40% belong to NCI. So when we add the two together, we get the amount of 11,050 here. Dividend proposed by the subsidiary for non-controlling interest. So why we have to put minus sign here? Because whenever the subsidiary pay dividend to non-controlling interest, the value of non-controlling interest will reduce. Okay, the value of non-controlling interest will reduce. So I think that's all. Yeah, for the full set of statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss, as well as statement of changes in equity for partial goodwill. Inshallah, in the next class, okay, we are going to discuss about full goodwill. Okay, so do you have any questions so far?
Sir,
Yeah.
untuk yang statement of financial position tu kan,
Mm-mm.
yang 10% debenture tu kenapa kita kena tolak dengan parents? Bukan sepatutnya, bukan kat statement of financial position tu combine dengan subsidiary ke parents?
Yes,
dengan
combine.
subsidiary.
Yes, combine. Okay, saya nak explain. Okay, I will explain. I will explain why we have to minus. Okay. You are referring to this one. Equity and liability. Debenture we minus 48, right? Betul?
Betul.
Why we have to minus 48? Okay. Initially it is 120,000. Okay. Initially it is 120,000. Okay, from the question here, 120,000. And the parent has no debenture. The parent has zero debenture. Only subsidiary has debenture. Okay. So what happened? What happened to the debenture of subsidiary? During the year, during the acquisition date, the parent acquire 48,000 out of 120,000. Yeah, the parent acquire 48,000 out of 100,000. So 48,000 is considered as intercompany that needs to be eliminated. And we actually eliminate by using the journal entry here. Debit ordinary share capital, debit debenture of S, 48,000. Credit investment in S, 48,000. So here, investment in debenture becomes 0 because we debit debenture of S. What is the meaning of debit for debenture? The nature of debenture is credit, right? The balance is credit, right? So when we debit, then it reduce. Okay, that's why we minus 48 from the total debenture of subsidiary. Yeah, 120 minus 48. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Any other question? Any other question? The rest? No? Okay, I hope you can view again this lecture. Boleh tengok semula lecture ni dengan menonton video ni. Jadi saya akan simpan video, saya akan bagi jugalah link pada awak supaya awak boleh tengoklah. Tengok semula video tu supaya nanti awak boleh fahamkan apa yang kita bincang pada hari ini. So I think if there is no question, we should end our class today. You may have class. Okay. So kita sudahi kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan surah Al-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Waalaikumsalam, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.